On YouTube, it's me again, back with another video. I know I've been a little bit slow at dropping these videos, but I'm always working. I'm actually at work right now. The only time I really have a chance to do any videos is when I'm on like a little 30-minute break or something, and I just start making a video. Now, as you already know, this channel is only for motivational or inspirational purposes only. Now, I've told you guys that before I do any of that, I had a story to tell y'all, and it's about my life and what I've been through with my family. I'd already did part 1 of my story, and this is part 2. And last time when I left off, I told you guys that I had to drop out of college, work full-time to support my brother and his gambling problems. So let's get further into this. So here I am working, living with him and his girlfriend, and her daughter and his newborn son. Now he decided that he would make me the godfather to his firstborn son. And it's something that I really did appreciate, and I really took serious, because you're a godfather. Like that's something I've never been in my life, like a godfather. That's an important role to play in a child's life. So I did respect that, and I did appreciate the fact that he chose me as a godparent. So anyway, it was all of us living in the house. Everything was going good. He was working day shift. His girl and I were on night shift. She'll clock in at 3:15. I'll clock in at 4, and he'll get off at 3:45. So his girl and I would go in, and I would wait in the car with the kids until he got off at 3:45 so that I could go in at 4. And we did the exchange, give me the car keys that he drove that morning, and that's just how it worked. So everything was cool. Every morning, I would wake up mad early so I could be with my godson to just spend the day with him so that his girl can get some sleep. And I'd just play with him, give him his bottle, take him down for nap time, and do all that until it was time for us to go into work. And that's how it went down for a whole year, until he turned 1. It's just how it went down. Now, I remember one day he came up to me and he was like, yo, you need to start building your credit up, because you gotta buy a house one day and you want to have a good credit so you could do that. Me, like a dummy, 18-year-old dummy, of course, I was like, yeah, how do I do that? Well, he was like, well, you gotta get a credit card. I was like, all right, yeah, cool. So he applied for 2 credit cards and got approved on both. And when the cards came, I remember I only bought one thing with those cards. And after that, he ended up maxing out both of the credit cards and never paid them. And when I found out, he was like, yo, I got you, I got when my tax money come, I'm gonna take care of that, you gonna be straight, don't worry about it. I was like, all right, bet, it's cool. So here I am, 18-year-old, college dropout with bad credit. But I took his word on the fact that he was going to take care of that when his taxes came. So after that, he was still gambling, and I guess he had a winning streak going on, so he didn't really need to come for me or to come to me for any help at anything at the time, because he was on a winning streak. So that's when I started saving up a little money and trying just save up. And but the thing with gambling is it's not every day that you're gonna win. So he started losing again, and then it was a tragedy that had occurred at the time. His girl's grandmother had passed, and he came to me. He was like, yo, my girl's grandmother just passed, and I'm messed up right now. I need a little help coming up with our part of the funeral money. And I was like, all right, cool. I had a little bit of something saved up, so looking at me crazy, like I'm just talking to myself. But anyway, I had a little money saved up, so I was like, all right, sure, whatever. Give him everything I had saved up, and it was just back to square one. So he told me that, again, when his tax money come, he'll take care of that. he'll take care of me. I was like, all right, cool, whatever. Then this man just started going around just owing everybody. And I mean everybody. Because my account stayed on negative. And it'll take at least a month for my account to go back on positive. And at the time, he was doing something. He was taking care of some paperwork which cost a lot of money just to bring my dad, my real dad, to the United States. And he needed a lot of money. And so he started borrowing from a lot of people. And so after he did that, my dad came, he started working, and the same thing that he did to me, he also did to my dad. I mean, my dad and I, we don't have a relationship. I mean, he wasn't there when I was born. He was really never around. When I was born, him and my mom, they were together. So I never really just had a relationship with him. But we had started to build, I guess, somewhat of a relationship. I mean, got my first apartment. It was just him and I in that apartment. He said that he would take care of everything. I didn't have to pay nothing. Maybe just a little light bill or whatever, and that wasn't much. And it was just us. Now my brother is the one that got us that apartment. And so he was the one that my dad gave the money to so that he could pay the apartment. But every time that my dad gave him the money, he was gambling with it. He never paid the rent. And after a month of living in that apartment, he had a job offer in Georgia. And he decided to move to Georgia. And I remember that night that he did move, he had no money. And so I had to give him my bank card so that he could make his way to Georgia. And imagine having a job and you're putting in all the hours that you can just for another person to be using that money. But like I said, I was 18. I was a dummy. And I just had so much love for my brother that I would just do anything for him. And that night that he moved was the first time in my life that I knew, well, not knew, that I felt myself going into a depression state. And after he moved, a month later, we had an eviction notice on the door. Why? Because we haven't paid rent for 2 months. And I was the one that seen the notice, so I took it down. I called him. I was like, yo, we got an eviction notice on the door. And he was like, yeah, man, I haven't been paying the rent. And I was like, are you serious? So you haven't been paying the rent? And now we're about to get kicked out, and I already don't have no relationship with my dad, so like, what we gonna do? So I'm just out here all alone. He's like, man, don't worry, I got you. I'm gonna send the money. And he did, he sent the money, but when I went to the office to try and pay it, it was too late. So we ended up getting kicked out, and I was just alone in the streets until I found an old friend of mine from like middle school, and I went and stayed with his family. And that's part 2 of my story. Stay tuned for more of this story, and I promise you, it gets crazier than that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.